God. I was planning on streaming at some point between now and like the next 2 hours, but I just decided I'll get this out of the way because I'm not really sure what the direction of today will be, meaning that people might come over and make little stupid comments and stuff they'd like to see done. Um, but if the title did not throw away this fact, or rather give away this fact, I am evil. I am this demonic character. And we're gonna show some examples of how villainous I am. About 2 years ago, there was a user who made seven, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but seven different accounts, seemingly for the sole purpose of downvoting streams I would do. And this was one of the factors that led me to just taking the ratings off of everything. Because when I would do a stream and they would see the downvotes, they would go, Why are there so many? What's going on? And it was just one of those things where people do it purposely to distract from what's being discussed on my part. So as someone that was rather annoyed by this, I just decided let's get rid of the ratings. But there was around this same time a woman who I was speaking to, and it was not romantic, which is why I've never talked about it in any of the different romance content. And we got on the subject of this, and I mentioned how people like that they're like proof of, what's the way of saying it, of why we need eugenics, which is, I mean, people know what that is. But the point of saying that is because the person's behavior dictated why we needed to get to a point where certain people are not allowed to reproduce, not the race of the person, which is the basis of eugenics and history. So again, it's the person's actions, not their ethnicity, the way they act. And she goes, you want to kill people over YouTube comments? And I'm thinking to myself, how do you just completely miss the point so comically? You have a person who literally dedicates themselves, because there are a lot of people that dedicate themselves to different things. You have people who dedicate themselves to working, to making videos, all kind of stuff that can be construed as productive. And this person decided every day for at least a month, if not longer, to spend some portion of their day coming to whatever video I had up to mess with it and try to cause controversy or otherwise distract from what's actually being discussed. But that completely went over her head. She demanded that I never message her again, which I had no problem not doing, because she was just another insignificant clown. But it was really funny because that was one of the times I can remember just being accused of being this villainous figure, like this person who is so evil and dastardly. And you can actually see a lot of that in the romance stuff where, I had some clown a few months back make a video trying to accuse me of being a closet homosexual. If I'm closet anything, it would be a closet pacifist. I don't resort to violence unless it's self-defense. That would probably be the only instance of me doing that. So there is nothing I have done to a broad other than speak about some of them. Again, not all of them, some of them in a disparaging manner, which I think in the grand scheme of things, you remember what they say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. It's like, you have people who rape chicks, you have people who murder chicks, you have people who do all kind of awful things to them. And you're going to try to make it seem like this person that's doing a video talking about specific broads that he thinks have made idiotic decisions is like on the level of what they've done. And they know it's not remotely as bad as what those other instances were. So one of the things they like to do is accuse you of some behavior you've never demonstrated. Because I've actually looked into violent people, like, serial killers and murderers and whatnot. And there are certain things you can pick out, like some of them will harm animals, for example. And as someone that's never done that or put their hands on anyone since becoming an adult, it is very absurd that you would resort to saying, hey, this person that we have no proof of any violent behavior of toward anybody, yeah, they're definitely going to become a rapist or a murderer or whatever. But I did a video about that where I said that uh, people like to use chicks as a measuring stick of how good a person is. That's why a lot of times when someone's trying to insult you, they'll say, "You're not with the woman because you're a creep." And I'll do another video that goes more into detail about that, but it's the just world fallacy that, you know, if you're a good person, you get good things happening to you, which is a crock of crap. Uh, to Ruben's question, I used it probably to log in and see if I have any new message, and that's about it. I just think it's a really stupid website. It's just like with Twitter. I just log in to see what people I follow have written, and then I jump off. So that's the full extent of that the answer to that. But yeah, this is a place operated by a very villainous person, so you should get away if you are afraid of being attacked by me in some manner. And really, any dissenting opinion you have is construed as some kind of like really bad thing. Um, do I check Twitter? Yeah, I log on there every couple of days. So, are you saying you sent me a DM or something? Because I haven't been on there in a little bit. But I was trying to say, people basically make any dissenting opinion a bad thing. So if I came on here and I said, "Oh my God, women are so great, and I'm just this terrible person for not being able to get with someone," they would go, "Oh, you're not that bad. You just need to work on your self confidence and blah 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 blah." But they do that because you have an opinion that agrees with them that there has to be something wrong with you because of what somebody else did. Yeah, pretty much. No, people really make them out to be like. I mean, Ruben, you've seen Dragon Ball. They're like the actual gods of destruction. Like if they don't select you, then they must be. They're these. No, they're like Zeno. They're these all-knowing beings who, if you don't get picked by one, it's indicative of how bad of a person you are. Because if you look at some of the comments online, people glorify them to really excessive extremes. They talk about how uh, if you have a lack of confidence or whatever, women can weed that out. They mention again, if you are not with someone, they try to disparage you in various ways. They have really turned people who just happen to have a vagina into like these omnipresent beings. It's very crazy, especially since I can actually pull up videos on this website of different chicks admitting they had crappy relationships with men that they say abused them. So where were those all-knowing great abilities to detect bad men when that happened? Did they grow it after those relationships? They're really lucky my phone got the messages for a few years back aren't on there. I had one broad who was with some guy who admitted that he had messed up real bad. And I was thinking to myself, if he did all this horrible stuff that you don't want to disclose, but you admit was not good, how are you able to pick out these wonderful men? Like if they're like, remember they're supposed to be pretty smart, but they're acting like idiots. If you go off of what they actually say about the people they've been with. Damn, nobody's clicking the like button. Like I have to beg. I have to do a little rap or a dance to get people to click on that. Oh, but they love doing that. They're like, "Oh, thank you to whoever that did that." Because, like I said, I can still see them even if I have them turned off in that little corner over there. But I was trying to say, oh, don't forget to hit. Yeah. Well, remember what a certain somebody wrote a while back? Does hitting the like button even do anything? No, it's just there for display. When you see videos with a million views and 28,000 likes, they're just there to show off how many people enjoyed it. Like, why the hell would they put that there if it didn't mean anything? Well, I told you, people just they write whatever online. They don't even think. They just type something. They just do this. Let me get back to what I was saying. I think I lost my train of thought. Um, we are pretty much near the bottom of the barrel with the romance stuff. It's just the problem is every time I think I'm done with it, I just keep thinking of something else to do. Um, so I've got this other one planned for this week, and I'm debating if I want to use this new one, this new script I wrote out, or the one from a few weeks ago, which is about people using your age um, to counteract your points. So not to actually address any of the things you're saying, but they go, this person is 20, so they can't make good points about chicks. It's really weird too, because in my experience with a lot of individuals I've spoken to, they don't usually do, like, if you have some continuous discussion with somebody and they do that, it seems like that's more of a rare thing than people who just go, I believe you'll one day find someone. So it's not that common of a thing, but it is still annoying. So I might do that this week, which I have the script written for that. I recorded a while back, and then what happened was I shifted the video out for another one on this other topic. Uh, so I'll probably try to do it this week or the week after that. That's usually how this goes. I'll get some idea, and then if I don't think it's as interesting as something else, I'll just jump to the other thing, and then I might come back to it, might not. It depends. But yeah, I was really shocked to find out how truly evil I am, because you know I always try to make this point. The decisions I have made as a person have not had negative ramifications for anybody else. There are no children who are unable to go to school because of me. There are no children who are hungry because of me. There's no woman that's dead because of me. So when I see these people who try to make it seem that because you do a video or speak about broads in some disparaging manner, uh, I'm really confused by it, because, like I said before, I have an idiot who I used to have a high opinion of that, opened her legs and had a kid she couldn't afford knowingly. And you'll see people who will make a video on me before they'll make a video on something like that, which happens often, by the way. Okay, Ruben says Trump administration will supposedly stop critical race theory discourse from colleges. Well, sounds really dumb, but we're used to the stupidity. That's a daily part of the occurrences on this on this country, in this country. People love doing that stuff. Yeah, when you come on here, people will take what you say and make it out to be these like declarations of villainy. Like if I say right now, what's a good example? I'm sick of broads. You'll have more people respond to that than someone that actually has killed some chicks, which we have multiple people who have done that. Or they'll try to link you with that other person. So they'll say, which is why I never wanted to join any of those romance groups. They'll say, oh, he's only making videos now, but in 2025, he's going to do blah, 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 blah. It's like, where does that come from? Like, all these people have these crystal balls into knowing what someone's going to do, uh, just for the hell of it. They all know who someone is without having actually met that person before. I watched you talk for 12 minutes, so I know I've now briefly glimpsed into the future. Well, yeah. I keep forgetting to call you James. I keep using the AOU thing. Okay, Ruben writes Trump administration also wants to label white nationalist extremists as the biggest domestic threat in this country, but the idiots screaming about Trump being a fascist will ignore this. Well, look, that's just another stupid word that means nothing. Whoever the Republican president is after this, whether it's Pence or Haley, whoever, they're going to get called a fascist too. It's just what we do. If you're part of the Democrats, you're a socialist, and then if you're a Republican, you're a fascist. That's how that works. They just throw up a word to smear you with. It's AJ Envoy dropping rhymes. He tried to get my attention 7 times. I know that sounds like a lot. 3 of those times were on streams. Feels real bad that he got caught. Might do it again, probably not. He's not here to make pretenses. He's here because he wants to redeem his offenses. That's his little rap. But let me get back to what James was saying. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to join any of those romance groups, because literally you'll have people who are part of those groups, not the majority of them, but some of them will go out and do something crazy. And then they'll use what that person did that you don't endorse, you don't support, along with the couple of people that are in that group that do support those kind of acts, at least verbally. They might not be doing it themselves, but they'll say, oh, this person wasn't that bad of a guy or whatever. And then they'll smear you with it. So, you can sit here in your little comfy place and speak in a eloquent manner about your grievances with broads and leave it at that. You don't put your hands on anybody, you don't do any violent stuff at all. But because you have an opinion that they claim goes along with this group of people that you have nothing to do with, you're automatically part of the romance team. And remember, the romance crew coming through doing anything annoying me so much, I gotta say. Thorne has contributed more good for the world in just one day than decades of activist movements. Well, I don't really know what these activists are doing. They just kind of get online, write a tweet, get a bunch of likes, and that's it. Because Kyle actually did a video recently. We was talking about progressives eat each other, like they'll turn on each other in a heartbeat. You have a faction of progressives that don't like AOC, they don't like Roe, they have a problem with every damn body. Because you know what they do? They find one vote you made they didn't like, and then all of a sudden you're like a demon. Remember, Ruben, you saw that not with progressives, but with a certain user. When he found that I like Johnson, I went from being this person who he said my streams were the best to, I can't take you seriously anymore. I became a villain. I was the new demon. You know what I'm talking about? Our friend with the 6,000 subs that steals stuff off of C-SPAN every day. I tell you, I never had a stream where somebody did that before. They just write a whole bunch of comments trying to get you to argue with them, and then they end it by insulting you, and then they wonder why you didn't respond to them. Oh, that was a crazy Monday. By the way, that Goku Vegeta video was amazing. They're just trying to butter me up. Flattery will get you nowhere except banned. I'm gonna pull out my Infinity Gauntlet, and that's gonna be the end of Envoy. Get yanked. Let me go back to what James was saying. I think did he write anything else? No, he just said hello. He's trying to be friendly and greet people and try to compliment a rhyme that I used. A bunch of communists were outraged yesterday because of people saying that the CIA murdered JFK. They said this was false because JFK was not a socialist, never U.S. president ever were evil. Yeah, whatever. They have a problem with everybody. Hey, I can't wait for when I die, and then people maybe somebody might post a tribute thing to me on I don't know, Twitter, and they're like, oh, he had good points about politics and Dragon Ball, and then somebody gets a clip of one of my romance videos. They're like, he's so evil. He said this about women 10 years ago. It's like he's evil for saying something about a broad, but the people who murder him and rape him are not. Okay. I'm telling you, I've been accused of such villainous behavior that I've never participated in. Just like it is the craziest thing. It's like people they want to accuse you of planning to eventually do something, but again, they have no proof that you've actually done it. So they can make you look worse than you actually are. Like I showed in the video on like how romance dehumanizes men. How you had the guy who was like, "You will do one of three things," and one of them was commit mass violence. And I'm like, "You're really writing that in my comment section and not expecting to get banned?" So that's why, for the most part, I don't even talk to other people about the romance. Like I'll do videos on it, but if you notice, I don't respond to any of the comments because like, what's the point? You don't listen to what I have to say. Yeah, I killed a dozen broads and drank their blood. Although they'll be doing the vampire thing next. A lot of the sources for the negative discourse about both JFK and LBJ is revisionist propaganda by Nelson Rockefeller. So wait a second. Rockefeller came back from the dead to start spreading his propaganda. That's pretty impressive. Did they use the Dragon Balls to bring him back? Did you see that nonsense with? I don't know why people can't just say Pelosi. Like if it's one of those last names that is so synonymous with one person that you don't have to say the full name. Oh yeah, deep state socialist, upcoming terrorist, woman abuser, all kind of stuff. So I've been made out to be a true monster on this site. Again, not by things I've actually done, but by things that you're accused of eventually planning to do. I just think it's nuts. But again, it goes back to that thing of if you say something someone doesn't like, they try to use actions of others to dictate your future actions. So they have no proof that you've actually done anything that's hurt someone or impacted a person in a negative way. Uh, so they'll try to like spin it to where, oh, he hasn't done it yet. It's like, yes, there's going to be this magic year where I just become this violent character. It's like the only person I would kill is myself to get away from the clowns online. I'm my only target. I want to escape from the freaks on this website. That's the sole life I've had interest in taking. All the rest they can stay. But again, they don't even care. They just spew random crap, and then that's considered like an okay, decent thing. But like I said, there's a lot of people online who think they're psychologists. How dare you become Moro's apprentice? Yeah, I'm. Hey, is he gonna use the Dragon Balls to get me out of jail, and then after I get defeated on Earth, say that he didn't care about me? But then, which makes no sense because why would he use these orbs to wish me out of prison? I can't wait till that arc is over. I'm gonna do a whole, must be 4 or 5 part video review of why it just of just breaking down all the stupid stuff in it. Some grievances with women, some crazy guys who attack women have grievances with women too, therefore will commit these criminal acts. Um, well, again, if it was actually something that you could prove as being in my like background, for example, and I mentioned before, there is a collaboration or correlation between people who abuse animals and go out and murder someone, which I've never done either, so it's just again more stuff that there's no proof of. So if you say anything bad about a woman, even though it hurts no one, uh, even if you remember, I conceal their identities, I don't show any of their pictures, you don't know who any of these damn people are. It's apparently going to translate into this evil activity that's going to take place at an unspecified time. Like I'm gonna wake up in 10 years and go, this broad turned me down for the 200th time. I'm gonna turn the Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember with the chainsaw. Megumi says, "Hey, everyone in the chat. Glad I caught the stream. Interesting title of the stream. I must admit. No, I'm actually I've been revealed as like a real life anime villain. This is like my decades long origin before I commit my evil act. So just some of the stuff that has been written about me online is just like, and people wonder why some individuals just say the internet is filled with like the most mentally ill characters in the world. Oh man, did we lose James? He vanished. Oh, I guess he went off to go sign a record deal. That's the end of him. Yeah, you go on Twitter and you'll find a bunch of broads talking about how I can literally find posts if you don't believe me. And I usually don't like doing this because on Twitter, you know how it is. If you type in what the person wrote, even if I blur the name out, you can just go find who they are anyway. I can find posts of women speaking the same way about men that I speak about chicks. They'll say, except they'll do it without, because sometimes I'll try to say some do this, some do that. They'll say men are terrible, men are trash, men are, and nobody gets mad. Nobody says they're going to go blow up a building or shoot up a school or any of that. But again, when you have it doesn't depend on what you actually say. It depends on your genitals that make people start writing crazy crap. You know, I probably would have to remind people, but when I was talking to Triple L Torta, it was like the last time we spoke, and I showed this screenshot. I don't remember the video's title exactly, but it's like the extremism of leaving people alone. And she basically tried to say that I was acting in some extreme manner that was so concerning to her by just leaving the dingbat alone. But see, that's how twisted things are now, where you have to go out of your way to make a person who doesn't bother people seem like this demonic character. Like I'm actually the picture I used as a thumbnail. I got the little black eyes and the like vampire teeth or whatever. I say there is certainly truth to that. So much people are just absolutely insane online. That's because we are in a feminist society, and it's the same phrase over and over. You go on Twitter, you can find all these different broads talking about how horrible men are, and they don't try to say some or this one or any of that. They just blanket statement, and nobody gets mad. But then you talk about a chick, and here comes the defenders. And remember, if you look in the comment section of people who are upset about my rhetoric or what I chose to say, it's mostly other men. You don't even see broads coming around to do this stuff. I mean, it's nuts. No, people find a way of twisting everything to be more than it actually is. It's really incredible. Like people were this good at movie, like at making movies, as they are at trying to smear someone online. We would probably have cult classics being released every single year. Instead of all these stupid remakes. Like if they were this original or imaginative when it comes to storytelling as they are at trying to attack you for things you haven't even done, We would be in a very different place with regard to the quality of the current films and television shows. Women can generalize and categorize all men and not receive any negative reinforcement from anyone. Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I said they get the benefit of the doubt. Just like if a broad made these kind of videos about men and said, "Hey, this man did this to me. This man did it," nobody would say, "Oh, you're you must be part of the female romance group. Yeah, you're part of that team of people that you've never said you're part of." And they wouldn't do that because they're allowed to be individuals and to have specific grievances with the opposite sex. We don't get that luxury. We have to be part of someone's crew. I've just never seen people try to recruit me for try to accuse me of being part of a group that I have no connection with. Like, when did I've never seen a group own a monopoly on an opinion. Like, if I say the first Scream is good, you're not going to have people who jump up and accuse you of being a Scream fan. Like, to where when you say no, I just like that one movie, they're going to go, you must be part of the Scream team. You probably have a bunch of white mask with a little like black eyes at your house. A young, attractive woman's emotional grievance will always be met with some form of support by both frail men and women. And Megumi says, I know, right? It's sickening just how twisted things are about this. Well, yeah, it means that you have to have the right genitals to uh, complain about a certain behavior. Told you the internet just it really I get irritated by it, and it's let people do really nasty stuff directed toward me, but it is good for showing how backwards thinking some people are. It's a good indicator of how insane individuals have gotten. Yeah, I'm trying to fix the quality of this damn camera, but whatever. Technology is anus. They don't even care. They just give you some boo boo camera, and they hope that you keep buying their computers. I really should do a video on just all the little different thoughts of are the like two or three different times I thought of suicide. That would be really interesting because there's a whole bunch of little stuff that I think if it's written a certain way, it could be I want to say entertaining, but I guess captivating. I don't know. But yeah, I'm this demonic character because I said something somebody didn't like, and people in real life do that to an extent too. Um, I can only say certain things about the dingbat with the baby before I have the hornet's nest come down on me. You know, like, oh, how could you say this about this person? You should apologize. And I would say to myself, it's really incredible to watch a group of people who support ruining someone's life before it begins, which is what you do when you have children you can't afford. Try to lecture me on the rights and wrongs of my behavior. It's really comedic because there sure as hell is not going to be a child that is my seed starving or needing the support of other adults if it's mine. Like, it's just not happening. You actually doing it with one of these dingbats like the one, well, they're both in my city, so anything's possible. I just don't really have the temperament to be around them that much anymore, so it's a lot harder. It's really difficult to imagine. Like, they're the kind of people where if they come over to visit, I just feel this immense disgust, like I have acid reflux, like I'm about to throw up. Megumi, that's not a new name. That's been around for a while. That's her code name. I have this weird feeling that if I actually got her to show up on the stream, I could find a way of informing the viewers that that was who that is without her noticing, because I could put in the title interview with Dingbat with, and then she wouldn't be able to see it on this screen. Well, I told you when I was recording that one, what video was that? It was Defend Skanks but Not Scholars, where I mentioned where I accidentally called Triple L Triple H. No, she would see the fact that I'm recording, but wouldn't see what the title is because the title is not on the screen. And then Tony has finally arrived. He decided to leave me alone after he appeared on that stream where a certain user who will remain nameless decided it was their day to get a highlighted. I haven't seen Tony at all in 2 whole weeks. He just decided I'm not good enough to view. But again, that's my fault somehow, because remember, I'm the villain. I'm going to change my channel's name to YouTube Antagonist or something. I'm gonna start every video with me opening a door in the dark room with the Nightmare on Elm Street music playing. It's really crazy too, because I remember the political stuff has always ran side by side with the romance stuff, and I've never gotten the kind of extremist, like on those people will just say you're dumb if they don't agree with you, which is, it's par for the course. But it's only with the romance stuff that people have like tried to make these assertions of who I am without having met me. Where if you have an opinion that is dissenting from theirs, which is what all this boiled down to, they try to squeeze it into being more than it is, which is just a different opinion. I'm not making anyone do something they don't want to do. I'm just simply stating how I feel. And that is like a bad thing. But it's not a bad thing because, I'm putting out people's information or encouraging violence or anything. It's just simply, we don't agree with you, but we're going to try to frame it as, us being morally superior somehow. I think a lot of the people who defend and support just the way things currently are, there's a bigger case to be made. They're actually doing more reprehensible stuff than I am. You had a broad on Twitter, for example, who posted a Valentine's Day, I don't know what to call it a meme, but it was about 4 or 5 different pictures of her and some guy, and then them and their kid, and then them and the kid and older, some crap. And she said, "Oh, I DM'd my crush, and this is what happened." And it was supposed to be some big story of love triumphing. And you look at these clowns, and you know that they're high school aged, meaning that they probably can't afford to take care of this kid they have together, meaning that the story of triumph she was trying to get you to believe in is actually a story of, hey, I'm an idiot because I have a child I can't take care of, and I'm trying to repackage it as being a good thing somehow. And you had people who were retweeting this, who were going, "Oh my God." There was one dingbat, I'll never forget this. She wrote, "Yeah, they cute, they baby cute, they just winning." I wanted to vomit right in my chair when I saw that. Just print that comment out and just piss all over it. But they'll support activities like that or write in an unironic way that they think those kind of things are good when they're not, objectionably. But then if I do a video where it doesn't result in me having kids I can't afford, it doesn't result in anybody getting shot or raped or pillaged or any of that trash, it somehow is like a bad thing, especially bad compared to what these people are actually doing to each other. It's really nuts. Told you, Triple L really tried to say that just leaving people alone, not bothering them, letting them stay in their own little space is extreme. No one recognizes when they're going toward extremism. The extremism, that's why I titled that video that way, the extremism of leaving people alone. Remember, stalking is extreme, harassing is extreme, but not bothering people is also extreme. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Told you with all these chicks, all 90 of them I've saw, I have some of their numbers, I have some of their emails to this day, and I don't message them. I leave them alone. I don't bother any of these people. If we speak, usually they come to me. Very seldom do I try to message them again or keep interacting. And that's like a bad thing. They've found a way to twist not bothering people into being a villainous act. So I'm the antagonist both if I speak to someone and say something they don't like, and if I leave people alone. That's really incredible. The new Genghis Khan. Yeah, I mean, hell, I'm surprised they haven't called me California's Osama bin Laden. I guess I have to get a little bit of a mustache before they can start saying I'm Hitler. So much smearing. Just they don't even care. They just say, you're doing this thing that is not what I would like you to do, so it is objectionably bad. It can't just be something I disagree with, because there's a difference between disagreeing with something and then trying to paint it like it's a bad thing. So, for example, somebody made a video about, and Megumi probably remembers this. I didn't really like the Broly movie that much because it was just a bunch of Saiyans, and the story wasn't the worst thing in the world, but just didn't appeal to me. Like, I wouldn't say it's a piece of garbage. I just wasn't into it. And there was a group of people who wanted Gohan to be in that movie. Somebody made a video, I kid you not, I could go grab it right now if I wanted to, where they said that people who wanted Gohan, a Saiyan, in a movie about Saiyans, which is what the Broly movie was, you're brain dead. You have a mental deficiency if you wanted this one character to appear in a movie about his own damn race. If you wanted him to appear in that film, you're brain dead. You're mentally ill because you want this one character. And remember, Megumi, you saw that film, right? You remember who's in that movie? Goku, Vegeta, their children, Goten, Trunks, and then Bra, except for Gohan. He's the only kid between the two of those men who's not in that film. So all the other Saiyans get to be in this movie, even the dead ones like Bardock and Gine, but not the one that like we've known for 30 years. You know what? Have we known Gohan for 30 years? Let me go look. He got introduced in what, 88? Well, let me go type this in and see if I can find out. Yeah, so if you wanted to see a character in a movie about their own species that we've known for more than 30 years, then there's something wrong with you. Okay, well, I don't know what Ruben, if it's a right-wing woman, you should already know it's probably either not true or being spinned as something else. Just like if you say, I want 16-year-olds to vote, what are you trying to make it to where 10-year-olds can vote? And you say, no, I want them to vote because we give them the same privileges that we give 18-year-olds. So, people like to smear stuff. Renouncing her edgy older videos. I actually did have some guy who said you should take that, like if the romance stuff isn't accurate anymore or something like that, you should take the video down. I said that would be an admission of guilt. I'm not ashamed of anything I put on this website. I think the newer ones are better because I write a script and generally get less off topic and know what I'm going to say, and it's polished and rehearsed. But I'm not in the mood of, oh my God, I need to take this off. To hell with that. You want to remove something, then remove it from your tab. Don't watch it. Yeah, Dio, I'm the new cell. I'm gonna absorb you. No, I am innocent. That's why it's really absurd that people have tried to spin it to where I'm like this more demonic character than possible. It's really crazy. It's just a super ridiculous allegation to make, even by their standards, and it currently getting spread by the thousands. It's really dumb. No, they love playing this game. It's almost as if getting on here and seeing how many lies you can spread about someone or change the narrative is just like it's really classic. And I told you it's a combination of people being reduced to having to pull things out of stuff that isn't really that complex, um, and finding a way to just make it seem like it's more evil than it actually is. So, for example, when I was in 10th grade, not 10th grade, 11th grade, uh, there was a bit of a controversy I got into. I'm not going to say what it is, but basically, the principal for this school decided to take a screenshot or some message I wrote on Instagram and try to like infer that it had something to do with this same event. And in the message, I said, I can't wait for my project to come out. It's going to prove all these different people wrong, whatever. And this message was written, you need to keep this in mind, at least 3 months before this event at this school took place. And would you like to know what that project was? Would you like to guess what this dastardly project that was scaring this woman half to death was? My show. which came out at the beginning of the year after that one. But it's just, again, when people want to twist something, they find a way to. Because a lot of times when someone makes like a movie, a show, a book, they call it a project because sometimes they don't know what exactly it's going to end up being. And this dingbat was really freaking out. What does he mean by when his project comes out? That's why I said a lot. Look, I don't care how old these people are, whether they're 30, 40, 50, 60. If you get to a point where you think project can be spinned into like whatever she was thinking, you're a stupid hoe. Yeah, Tony, when these clowns called my house and my grandpa picked up the phone and asked me, what did you post on Instagram? And I looked at him confused because I hadn't posted anything recently on the site. I couldn't believe it. I was like, they will really use whatever you put online. Like that's some masterful, slick smearing. When you take something as, admittedly, it is kind of vague, but you use it, something that is old at that point. It's months and months old, and try to connect it to something that has nothing to do with it. It's incredible. You see, who's around a lot of tunes? Where you say, oh, well, I mean, hell, I'm gonna pull out my dark magician at some point. Online smearing, the real life one isn't as bad, but it still is there. Gross, I got Google Bob. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah. I got called uh by the school over an old message that had nothing to do with any of what transpired over there. But again, if someone wants to take something and make it seem like it's worse than it actually is, they will do it. And, it doesn't work because when you don't have a record of being violent or doing any illegal stuff, it's very difficult to actually make the case that this person is, this is the villainous character who we need to watch out for. Hey, just know that what's another hint to give for that? That whole little saga all started over me trying to go to the movies with some classmates. Like you want to go to the movies with some guys, and then somebody says something stupid, and then That's why I don't like hanging out in groups because when there's more than like maybe two other people, they just start acting a fool. You want to go to the movies, and that ends up going all the way to the extent of these clowns at this school taking a message that has nothing to do with any of what they're accusing you of and try to smear you with it. That's why I said I just, I got to a point of leaving people alone, like after around that time. And it was funny because I had actually mentioned this to Triple L, and she was like, "Oh, well, this is not that bad." And I'm like, dingbat. When I've got uh, people trying to call my house and make the case for why I'm gonna like do something crazy that I have no proof of they have no proof of me actually plotting to do. That to me is enough cues to say this is a hostile environment, as well as the all the people involved, which is what the internet is. It's a bunch of hostile people. You got to look a couple of these ones, a bunch of hostile individuals, and you just have to not respond, just ignore it. Like don't engage with it because in truth they can control the way they react to it, but they can't control your response to it. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have written that. I was like, how the hell was I supposed to know these clowns were going to take that 2, 3 months later and say, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I'm worried. Like, I don't have I don't have, excuse me. Yeah, it is psychic powers. I'm not that so Raven. I can't, I can't look into the future and know that this is going to be used to smear me. Now, it's not group mentality. It's when you get enough people into something, you'll have someone that twists it. Yeah, I'm Alazam. I'm at my little spoon. It starts bending. Yeah, the new mute. I'm mute three. That was always an evolution people were trying to say was going to eventually happen that never did. It's just like Super Saiyan 5, all those little stupid fan drawings that look like crap. Gotta love when people twist the narrative to benefit them. Yeah, they love doing that. Oh, I don't dress up for Halloween, so. But this is my thing that you can pretty much post anything online, whether it's a picture of yourself smiling, whether it's with something else, a video of you, because these videos aren't just me getting in front and screaming about chicks. We're articulating specific grievances that have taken place, as well as what you sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes what you would like overall. And you would think that with something where you put a lot of thought into it, or at least make the effort of trying to sound clear about the point you're conveying, that the response would be equally, even if it disagrees, thought out. People when they disagree would say, "Hey, I don't agree with this because you said this, but then this has happened," or something like that, where they actually put effort into a rebuttal that makes sense, even if you don't agree with it. And instead, you just kind of get a bunch of clowns who, they're resorting to calling you gay and saying that you're going to attack people and all this different stuff that there's no way of quantifying. Have you seen the I Stand with Sophie? It sickens me. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Megumi, let's twist things and cause some drama. Told you, from that point forward, I don't believe like all that stuff about the goodness of people and they're so nice, and if you just treat people in a decent way, no, because people I'd never done anything to went out of their way to make me seem like I was the son of Satan, or like I was the new Ivan the Terrible. They often go with that homosexual allegation. Yeah, I never thought I'd see the day where a man uh, complaining about his results with chicks would be construed as someone that is gay. That's really impressive. I've never seen somebody go on a video of a woman critiquing her husband or boyfriend or whatever, and then somebody in the comment section says, "You must want to lick a taco." Like, they don't do that to them. You never see it. That's claiming that her mom is watching her boyfriend. Boyfriend is touching the daughter inappropriately. Judge sided with the mother. She's literally being dragged out of a car. Wow. Have I seen Young Justice? I have. I like the first season. I don't really like it after that because there's too many characters. Let's see what else is here. They say that like it's scientifically proven. Oh, you mean the homo thing? Well, one of the other things they do is that, and I was gonna save this for the top 10 worst thing video, like with the chicks or whatever, but there was actually a website I used to go on where they had people who would like talk to you if you were feeling depressed or despondent. And I haven't used this website in like 5 years now. And I was talking to some broad about the chick thing, and you'll never guess what this dingbat said. Because I basically said to her what I say on here, where it's you're frustrated because you put a lot of effort in talking to these people. They say things sometimes to make you think they're interested, and then it ends up being not the case. She concluded, or rather, her response was, "Maybe you like boys." I just wanted to just pull my pants off and just crap all over my computer at that point. Think about this. Your sexuality is determined by other people's decisions. Because I've actually looked into sometimes what gay people describe as when they realize what they are, and they'll talk about how when they do things with members of the opposite sex, they don't feel any stimulation, like they get nothing out of it, and that's where they become doubtful of being straight. So when you have a man who at every turn has shown attraction to chicks, and he now is supposed to believe he must be gay because they don't show an attraction back to him. Think of how ridiculous that is. So, I ended up telling this dingbat off, and then she was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it." I was like, "How did you even conclude that?" Again, that was the end of me using that website. I mean, they could take that back to the circus. You see. And they bring up thing to bring you down like it's a slight on you. Uh well, I mean, even if I was, I mean, basically this is the way it goes. They say things like that not because you actually demonstrate that you're doing anything that could be construed as gay, but they want to believe that there is something out of your control that is like they're trying to make sense of your difficulty to get with someone without actually listening to what you have to say and agreeing with your point, because they want to believe in this, the just world fallacy. You get the results that you deserve. So, if you're gay, then it makes total sense for none of these broads to be attracted to you, because remember, they're able to weed out who is what and who is not, except for the times when they get abused by their partners that they selected. And that's always the thing that I can never get these people to answer. If these chicks are so great at picking out partners, why the hell did they get cheated on? Why did they get divorced? Why do they cheat on their part? Like, no one ever wants to explain that, because that's the elephant in the room. They always try to make it seem like everyone that's been in a relationship is just in this great, terrific spot where no one ever complains about anything, when that's not the case. Seriously, if these broads are such great indicators of who is worth their time and who is not, why the hell do we have record levels of divorce? These women are dead after they hit 30 to 40. Oh, I shouldn't have read that, because now they're going to say that I'm plotting to make that the case or something. They love to play that game. He read somebody's comments, so that's what he thinks. That's their favorite tactic. there's so many failed. Like if we started counting, like let's say one chick gets 5, 6, 7, 8 different boyfriends, right? Which some of them have had. Uh, that's 8 failed relationships. She has screwed up and gotten with the wrong person, like literally 2/3 of a dozen times. And this is supposedly someone who, when they say no to me, I should think, well, she's a really good indicator of who is appealing and who is not. It's like, well, if she's such a great decider of who's good to be with, why does this stuff keep happening to her? And Justin, don't forget about the toilet paper if you crap on your computer. You know what? I would be better off just printing out the message of what she wrote and then peeing on it. Having an anal evacuation on that trash that she wrote. Well, that's because Slum Digger's been hanging out with his best friend in the world on that other channel. That's why he hasn't shown up. Yeah, but a lot of people would say that she is a very desirable individual the more partners she's had. Yes, but remember, Megumi, what they say that chicks are able to weed out this. You have to appear attractive to them, blah 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 blah. But if we have proof that they've had unsuccessful relationships, then that means at some point the people who appeared attractive to them weren't good enough anymore. You would think. I'm just following it to its natural conclusion because there has to be something wrong with the person who can't get a relationship, right? So if the people who are in relationships are not able to stay together until the end of time, then there must be something wrong with them too, right? They don't want to answer that. They aren't going to use their critical thinking skills and question why she's never stayed with them. Yeah, because they don't want to accept the idea that maybe that person she never gave a chance to might not have been as bad as they like to smear him as being. Told you, I've had broads on Reddit who I would message and then they would say they were like not interested. I come back to their stuff 4, 5, 6 months later. Guess what they're doing? Posting the exact same thing over and over again. Let's be friends. Let's build to be something more. And then it goes the same way because they keep deciding that these other guys they're talking to aren't good enough, and it just loops. Seriously, I can prove that that's happened. Where some broad that says no to me ends up on that website a few months later. Again. Let me see. Following it to the that doesn't apply with half these broads. Well, yeah, because people aren't actually using critical thinking skills when they like say, "Oh, you're so ugly" and all that trash. They just have to throw out their feelings, and then that clouds their judgment. Because, like I said, if if the people who are getting with broads were so great and so good and so well put together and were so lacking in flaws, why the hell do these relationships not work out? Why do we have record levels of the numbers of divorce? Nobody wants to explain that. Told you when you actually think about this stuff in a critical way, that's when all the smearing stops working. And it's the same thing with being accused of not having confidence. It's like if I didn't have confidence, I wouldn't be able to come on here and confidently say, no, there's something wrong with that broad when she says no, right? I would think. Oh, hey, Magumi, remember the good old phrase, work on yourself? If you get turned down by a woman, you need to work on yourself. Not the broad who has a kid she can't afford. She doesn't need to work on herself. Not the broad who said she got sick of guys online asking her for sex questions and then turned down men that didn't ask that as well. So there's no difference between being sexual and being platonic. I told you, like, all the people that they're saying are so don't have to work on themselves because they're in a relationship. Look at their lives. Like, look at them and then question how true that is. It's like, I need to work on myself, but the dingbat who had a kid she can't afford and ruined the kid's life before it even began doesn't. And again, if you remove the chick thing from the equation, right? Nobody would be saying that stupid trash. Nobody would be telling a person who uh, works or otherwise is content with who they are that they need to acquire a vehicle and all this other trash that they had no interest in beforehand. But like I said, you're not allowed to be a person. You and your existence and everything you own is subservient to the broad. You could have a master's degree and get turned down by a broad and have some idiot talking about you need to work on yourself. Not the dingbat that's got STDs from all these different guys that she's dated. Like, seriously, like, between looking at how well adjusted they are not and getting, like, knowing that you wouldn't get smeared in this kind of way, but if it weren't for the chick thing, then you know it's a bunch of BS. Because I did a whole bunch of political stuff and DB stuff, and I never had anybody the entire time say you need to work on yourself because, like, nobody cared. It wasn't, we weren't playing the internet psychologist game at that point. It's only when the chick thing comes up that now you've got 99 different fatal flaws, and you'll, or they do the other thing. You'll eventually get with someone just at an indefinite time in 2,900. They love playing that game. Yeah. Oh, hey, you better shut up about that one. We only have child molesters that are male. Let me see. I'm not even going to read Slum Dig's comments because I'm mad at him. He took a break from coming to my channel. He didn't write anything, so I don't even want to look at anything he writes. Every time he writes something, I'm going to look this way as a symbolic rejection of all of his messages. I'm not even going to acknowledge his existence. Slum who? So he will be ignored for the remainder of the year. We're not even going to give him a second's thought. I wouldn't even remember him enough to actually completely say his name. I'll be, hey, COVID-19 will be eradicated before I read one of his comments again. No, I'm not going to be fair anymore. Because remember, I'm the villain. I'm the one with the cactus flowers. What about Bella Thorne? She exploited the internet in The Sims. It's almost sad, really. I don't even think I know who that is. She's dying from Hep C and AIDS like Jenny. Okay, I don't know who these people are. You're bringing up individuals that are out of my scope of knowledge. Yeah, I don't know if it exposed how desperate these men are when we literally have proof that they do that with all kind of different chicks. There's a certain broad who has a name that sounds like a certain video game franchise that got a guy to spend $20,000 on her on a stream just so he could have his name read by her. Yeah, AOU. That's why I never understood. They blame the guys, or excuse me, they blame the chick when the guys are the one who make the decision to go and give her all the coins. There's not a single broad on the internet, unless she was doing a service for me, which actually required some level of talent, that I ever paid for anything of. Like, you're not going to get paid by me to pose for a stupid picture or play some video game or whatever. It's stupid to me. That's why it's just comical. I mean, I guess it's funny. I'm more disturbed than anything else. All right, give me a second. They have to be giving away all that money. Yeah, they're giving away all kind of coins. The amount these women are making is terrifying. There was one teacher who was recently outed for having an OnlyFans. You know what? 2 weeks ago, and I alluded to this a few streams back, there was an actor who I used to see on these two different shows, or an actress, whatever, and she made an OnlyFans where she wants like $30 a month or something. And I was actually, when I did my video, going to probably surprise people because I was going to link her Twitter to where if people wanted to go on there and spend $30 a month to see her crap, they could do it, because I'm not someone who stands in the way of somebody. Like if I do a video on someone who's like offering a service, even if it is something I think is kind of dumb, I'm not going to stand in the way of people wanting to, partake in that. Even though, again, like I said, I've never been someone who's been turned on by some stupid pictures. Sorry. Oh, your voice is so sexy. I told you, there's a whole YouTube channel of some broad that plays video games in a breathy voice. And I'm like, people are really turned on by that. And she's never showed us what she looks like. She could look like the Hunchback from Notre Dame. She could be as big as the original Boo. You know, the first one we see that Vegeta fights. She could literally be 2020's Jabba Hutt. And like nobody thinks about that. It's just, oh my God, her voice. I'm so attracted. Yeah, feet are probably the least attractive part of the body to me. Like I'm good. Unless it like if it, I'm not going to spend pictures on anybody's body, but most especially not on their nasty little legs, little toes. I really don't blame anybody for making an OnlyFans. I mean, if you can make so much money within a week by just posting pictures, good for you. No, I don't blame them. I was just saying that I don't get the appeal of like supporting it because it's just pictures. It's like, yeah, you can talk to the person who's on there, but you're talking to her along with what, 10, 20, 30, 40 other guys. Hell, I'd rather just go back to reading Playboy. At least it's a bunch of different chicks in there. Something you can actually, yeah, there are so many damn porn websites. You have Pornhub, was it X Hamster, Porn Too, like it just, oh my God. And they're that turned on by photos where they want to go spend some money for something they can see for free. I hate to say it, but all these little like naked chicks online, they're not that damn original. You can get, when these broads take their clothes off, you can see that from all kind of other different chicks. The only time they become special is if they're trying to screw you. Other than that, it's all the same. What do you think makes men this way? I don't know who that user I will not acknowledge is talking to. He needs to be more specific. There's 10 people in the chat. You need to explain who you're trying to ask this question to. I know you're not asking me because I said I was going to ignore you. Yeah, I don't know who he's talking to, so I'm just gonna let his comments sit there. It'll be ignored and forgotten, like the Virtual Boy, that horrible gaming system. We're gonna neglect him like they do Goten and Trunks. Maybe if I was a good person, I would read it, but I'm a villain. So I'm gonna go back to my villainous ways of ignoring comments and pretending like the people who are here are not here. That's how I operate. I just got sent this really old picture of me. Wow. Uh, what could have been? Well, I mean, Goten is just a bootleg version of Goku, a poor man's version of Goku, and then Trunks had to exist because we saw him as a baby in the Cell Saga. That actually probably would have been more interesting if they had Vegeta get with somebody else, and then future Trunks was just Trunks, just a son of him from a different timeline. That would have been a hell of a twist. Imagine future Trunks comes back, it's like, I don't even exist in this timeline. What? Because we know that even if that what do you call it? If something happened to him during the if he didn't exist in the main timeline, he would still be a character in the future timeline because the events in the main timeline have no effect on the ones from the future timeline. Your transgressions. Um, I mean, again, it's just the fact that the present version of Trunks is just not that interesting of a character to me. Like he's just Goten's butt buddy. Let's see what other villainous thing has been I've been accused of. Yeah, it just seems like Twitter is just a website where everybody gets attacked for like no reason. And it's really funny too because Twitter's probably the easiest website for me to ignore people's messages on because you can turn off notifications. So I don't even block anyone on there usually. I just let them uh, write whatever they want and I just ignore it. Like I don't look up my own name or whatever handle. It's really crazy that you like it is probably the worst site besides Discord, but it's a lot easier to ignore people on there than on here. Is the home stadium of the cancel culture sports team. Like I said, I still hate Discord the most though. That website is just complete garbage. Every time I go on Discord, I die a little bit inside. It takes 10 days off my life to log on to that trash. The only good thing about Discord is that you can speak to people, and if you have a server where there's only a couple of guys that are all level-headed, don't act insane, you can have a decent server. But the rest of that site, like Discord, will really make you hate people that you otherwise would have never had a problem with. That's why there are several people I watch on YouTube, and they're like, "Come to my Discord server." I'm like, "Yeah, I stopped joining those after last year. Not anymore." But yeah, I'm gonna do a top 10 worst things chicks have ever done to me video, and there will be a lot of stuff in there that is brand new, including an event that happened a few years ago where I actually thought that I had been endangered because of this broad. That again, Triple L tried to downplay, but whatever. So I might do that maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That video should be entertaining. Yeah, should be good. And then Slumdigger watches and he says, "It should have been good. This is crap." And he does that. Now I want to do that Cell video because that's the one I'm going to draw all those different pictures for. It's like this. It's like a big old new story of what they should do if they bring him back. I'll probably do the Chi Chi video before that one because that one won't require as much original stuff. I know I'm getting to it. It's just I keep every like I said, if I don't put it out, it's because something more interesting took its place. What do you mean doing vids on the DBZ movies? Like a review? I don't know what you mean by vids on the DBZ movies. Um, well, it was kind of what's a good way of saying it? That is something that very realistically could have happened. It didn't. Like nobody's put their hands on me, but it was something that could have happened based off of what this clown said to the guy she was with. So, oh my god, and I'm gonna have to review this whole series. Envoy says he wants a review of every arc of the original, of Z, of Super, of GT, of Hero. Man, to hell with that. I might do a review on the Boo Saga, but that's to talk about how it's just like I don't get how it's anybody's favorite. Like how that's the point of no return for me in Dragon Ball. That it's like that's okay, and it just gets worse and worse. Man, if I do the Boo Saga, I'd have to. It would be the review of the arc, and then all these different videos explaining how it ruined all the characters that were in there. Yeah, because I mean, it's what 50, 60, 70, 80 episodes. It has to be in depth. I don't know how the hell people review entire seasons of shows in like 10 minutes. It's just crazy to me because you can't get into the specifics of why something is good or bad. Almost happened. I got threatened on the phone and told the guy where my location was and where I went to school. He didn't show up. Yeah, I'm not telling anybody my damn location. That's a recipe for disaster. Nothing good can come of that. No, Megumi, I'd have to do the review of the Boo Saga, which would be called "Why the Boo Saga is like the worst arc of Z." And just because it's the worst doesn't mean it's trash. It's just not. It's the one I like the least. And then I would have to do videos about how each character was like that has a prominent role was ruined in the Boo Saga. So like the only two characters that were introduced before the Boo Saga that I think they actually did very well are Vegeta and Hercule. Everybody else, like I'd have to make a whole series of why each character was ruined, like just a specific video on that character with all the different examples. Because again, I have no problem articulating a viewpoint on something if it'll actually be listened to. It's just people get really aggravating because if they don't like something, they just want the person to shut up about it. You know, like there's a Dragon Ball forum where if you criticize the series or the games or whatever, you get scapegoated. Like they get so mad and they oh my god. Give me a second. I'm getting called by somebody. I apologize. I keep getting called. I had a similar scenario that happened. Oh, this has turned into a time men have attacked us video stream comment recollection series. It's like, I remember that time that girl's boyfriend threatened to beat me up. That's actually a very rare thing to occur to me, because most of the time, if I talk to some broad, it's usually one that at least claims that she's not with a man. So I thought she was gonna smash me, but then I found out he was. No, my favorite is still the other voice for when they do the thing where they accuse you of being gay. It's like, oh yeah, this guy that talked to 90 chicks is definitely gay. It makes total sense. He's definitely a homosexual. That's why he approached 90 people of the opposite sex. What's another stupid thing they say? Oh yeah, you'll eventually find a partner, even though when you approach chicks year after year after year, you didn't get a different result. But in 2021 or 22 or 23 or 24 or 25 or 26, 27, 28, 29 or 30, this bra will definitely pop out of the ground, and she'll be so terrific and wonderful, and it will make 20 years of waiting for a broad feel like such a great thing. Yeah, complete buffoons. I tell you, people really act like the chick thing is a Disney movie. Like they're gonna be like, this person spent 5, 10 years waiting for a broad, and then suddenly he found the one. It took 2 decades and 1 year, but now she is here. It's like, no, it's gonna be the same stupid trash. Some broad comes up, she acts interested, and you go, oh my god, maybe this is finally the end of it, and then, and you gotta start all over again. Yeah, that trash. Oh yeah, this man that takes a shower every day definitely is not doing something right. Or yeah, he's not showering, and that's why he's not getting with anybody, because we all know that men that don't get with chicks all smell horrible. Yeah, that's the craziest crap in the world. I take a shower every night, put on deodorant. But this is what I'm talking about. They would have no way of being able to prove I don't, because they've never seen me in person, so they can't even sniff me. People are so damn weird online. They come up with so many ways of like obfuscating from the broad being at fault. A class on how to speak, yeah. No, it's a whole new bimbo. And unlike the rest, she's not a stupid hoe. She finally accepts you for who you are. You've been waiting year after year, but now she is here. It's like they really want you to believe that BS. Just keep trying. Let me see. 101. They tried to find any possible way to justify your unsuccessful attempts on the chick being interested. Yeah, it's like a weird thing where if the broad is not interested, or have shown that they're not interested for years, right? Then if the person thinks you're a good guy or whatever, then they'll say, "Oh, you'll eventually find someone, yeah." And then if the person is like trying to insinuate you have fatal flaws, like a certain person on this website tried to do it with me, they go and say, "Oh, you'll eventually you're not good enough to find someone. You probably smell, and you're probably gay, and you're probably like." It's never the fault of the broad. I told you when I found out my best friend, who I think the world of, was having trouble with chicks, that's when I stopped self-loathing. I said, if someone like that, who goes to school, who has a job, who lives on his own, if he can't get with someone, that should tell you everything you need to know about the pickiness and the little. And they do the same. People do the same stuff to him. Oh, you're not tall enough to get, like, any little thing they can pick at. They'd be like, yeah, that's the reason. So go to hell. They never take accountability when it comes to that. No, it's always your fault. Remember, it's the stupidest arguments when people try to convince you. The one person trying to change things is the person who's to blame for why it stays the same. The one individual that wants stuff to be different and tries to make things different is the reason why it stays the same. I don't know what Ruben's laughing at. Trump administration should stop gender studies discourse. Oh, okay. Where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. Oh, I didn't see your other comments. Yeah, Music Fiend claims that he can't come to any of my videos because YouTube blocked him from being able to view my channel, which is the first I've ever heard of them doing it. That's really incredible. He said YouTube held him down and they told him you can't watch this person anymore. You might be able to come to a few streams, but no more videos for you. They commanded him. They said you will not watch him anymore. Oh, let me read this. I'm having trouble meeting chicks. I've tried everything except begging. Wow, that's your problem right there, man. You need to get on your knees and beg. Yeah, they love doing that. Oh, let's not forget the other ones. Maybe you're trying to get with someone who's out of your league. We know this chick lives in the box and she doesn't own anything except her vagina, but she definitely is out of your league. Like that's their rationale. Broads who don't own a damn thing are like so magically above you. like you're this little peon in their Galactus. Okay, yeah, Dio screwed this up. I read a post that said that women see men just as objects of success. Megumi, they have like 99 different reasons for why you can't get with, and then let's not forget the other one. You're ugly, and I know that I'm a man. I'm not supposed to be looking at other men, but you're ugly because we all know that every single man that's saying a woman I would find attractive. Yeah. God, I just they run the gambit. They have so many different ways of trying to like explain away your grievance with these people. The common sense is lost. Yeah, they think every single, like I said, every single man. That is one of the things they like to do. You're ugly. I can go through my email right now and find at least 4 or 5 different men, as far as what their avatars and names indicate, on one of my videos saying I'm ugly. It's like I'm not trying to date your goofy self. To good. And Dio is laughing at something. I don't know what it is. Oh, let's not forget the other one. Since you speak negatively about broads, you're dangerous, even though you've never put your hands on any of them. Because this other person did something, and they said something bad about chicks. If you say something bad about chicks, then you're going to do it too. Yeah. To call another man ugly as a cause for why women don't date him is, well, it's stupid. Like, think about it. They're supposed to be straight. They're not supposed to find you attractive. So they're going to compare finding the person not supposed to find attractive with the people who, for all they know, could have varied reasons for not thinking they not wanting to go. Basically, they just try to like simplify it, and also they say something stupid because they're not supposed to find you attractive as straight men. You would think anyway. I'm telling you, there's never been a single man I've gone on the account of, especially because I haven't watched any other person's dating videos or relationship videos in 4 years. But even when I did, there was never a single man I wanted a video of, and I was like, let me see if I think he's pretty. It's like, who does that? Well, I know who does it. Other men to me. You got to be a damn fool if you actually think that makes any type of sense. Like there are a bunch of broads that I don't think are pretty, and they're still with people. Imagine if some broad came up to them and said, "You're ugly, so no man will ever date you," and then you see them with all these guys or whatever. Like people just say whatever; they don't even care. Let's just string some sentences together. To hell with if it makes sense. To hell with if it actually is has any basis in reality. That's why I said it was they won't use that logic against the woman because they give them all the power. The smearing gets so out of hand as well. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but like again, when we do these videos, there are points that are made, and when a person responds to a video where someone spends several minutes making points and giving examples of what they're talking about with "you are ugly," how is that an engaging conversation? Like, why does that comment deserve to be written there? What does that do to enhance someone's understanding of the video? That's why I said I don't engage with people that respond to a lot of this stuff. I just look at the little crap they write and keep it moving, because they're not trying to have an actual discussion about this stuff, even if it's from a different point of view. They're just writing trash. It's like if I ask Megumi to do a review of, I don't know, what's that movie that guy tried to say I had a mental illness for not liking, The Last Jedi, and then the comment section as Megumi is articulating in, like, let's say 10, 20, 30 minutes why he doesn't like that movie, and he gives all these different examples of things that he doesn't like, but also some things that he might have thought were okay. And I go in the video and I go, "You are a hater." Then, like, how does that, like, what does that do for the conversation? I'm going to accuse him of being something, not actually retort any of what he said. Like with that broad who kept saying the thing about you'll eventually find somebody. I want you to understand, even if I find somebody tomorrow, all the different videos I've made showing all the screenshots, none of that is getting erased. All of that stuff that I experienced does not suddenly disappear because one broad came to like have common sense and decide I was worth going on. Again, one date with. I just think it's crazy that like all this smearing, like I have been made out to be some demonic character. I'm gonna make that thumbnail my profile picture. Hey, Envoy's read One Piece, so he knows Kaido. I'm gonna come here with some horns and extra. It's like, what the hell is wrong with people? They don't even care. They just say things. This person that approaches women is actually gay, even though they've never been seen making out with any men or doing anything that could be considered homosexual. This person that has had chicks tell him that he's attractive or whatever. He is so ugly that he can't get with anybody, even though there are plenty of men that a lot of other people might not find attractive, but some broad does. I mean, we can go down the list. They have all kind of little different reasons and rationales for their trash, for their garbage. They love playing that game. I think it's really sad because I do believe people online can make good points, but a lot of what I see in response to my stuff is just, I just think is really dumb because it doesn't seem thought out. Like when I was talking to the Discord snake and he tried to say that my videos that usually only get 100 views have made me so famous that all of these different employers know who I am and they're like, no, you know, I don't see how that's a well thought out opinion, and that's the kind of stuff someone will say and then be surprised. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. It's like we got record levels of unemployment, and you're gonna act like I'm some special case for not being hired. Look, whatever about location. When all these clowns across the U.S. have phones and cameras and all the rest of that stuff to show themselves off online, I just don't think it matters. It's the same thing with height, where my friend is under average male height, and he had people talking about you're too short, and then I'm above average male height, and I get the same result. And you want to tell me about the difference that it makes? My friend's in school, I'm not, and we get the same result. And you want to tell me about the difference that that makes? He's employed, I'm not, and you want to tell me about the difference that that makes? I wish people would just say that if broads don't like you, or if they collectively are disinterested, that's it. And that might be reasons that are not that clear, because the people have had different circumstances. Men look different from each other, still get turned down, but they don't want to accept that at some point it is up to chance if the dingbat says you're good enough to be with her goofy self. So instead, we have to play the simple solutions game. You see, location doesn't really matter I don't know what people are talking about. They just say things. Megumi, if you move to Texas, y'all attention from all the sexes. Oh, Piscord. Only time Piscord ever mattered for dating was when that guy killed that broad and then cut her up and put her pictures on that website. And then people start posting all over the place. Oh, okay, I'm not reading that. I just gave all the little rationales I needed. That's enough for that. I'm not about to sit here and have a debate. Like I said, we already have proof of what that slum person decided to do earlier this month. And I was very horrified when I read the messages and saw his activities. But let's just put it like this. The internet is worldwide. So what difference does it make if I log on the internet from California or from China? You're going to keep seeing the same people. YouTube is still YouTube there as it is over here. Oh, that's another thing they like to do. Why don't you travel? Get a passport. Go to this country. I'm like, you really think I'm going to go to this country and then there's going to be like some broad just groveling at my feet like, yes, please go on a date with me, please. Especially since I can actually, I don't like doing this because it goes into the territory of exposing people, but I can actually prove there are multiple broads from different countries that I've spoken to and it didn't matter. Especially when one has the idea of moving to a place on the premise of, think of how insane that is. You're supposed to change your entire life on the basis of over here abroad might be into me. And nobody thinks that's whack. Megumi, please move to Alabama. I think there will be a higher chance over there. Oh, what's that? You don't want to change your whole life to possibly get someone to go on a date with you? Well, oh well. Too bad. That's how they operate. That's why I said the internet is just so many clowns. Yeah, James, can you translate what he wrote? Because like I said, I'm not about to sit here and debate this. If you want to see a debate, you can go watch Biden and Trump in 2 weeks. Talking to people in Europe on the internet is not really a proper way to gauge attractiveness in Europe. Well, I didn't say anything about gauging attractiveness. I said that if someone in another country is acting the same way as someone in the US and playing the game of showing some level of interest and then pulling the rug from under you, I don't really see the difference between the person who lives in the US or the one that lives in Europe. I mean, again, I'm willing to do a video about how location doesn't matter. There's a broad from a foreign country who did something so dirty and so disgusting that when I looked at the messages, I just wanted to throw my computer out the window. I mean, AOU, he's the same guy that said I should stick with the person who made a video accusing me of being gay because I said something they don't like. So I'm not going to take that too seriously. Because you stand out. Yeah, that is true that when you're of a certain race, you do stand out in certain countries. Like I heard that if you're black and you go to Japan, they want to like grab and touch your skin because it's so different from what they see over there. Anyways, we're reaching the limit of how much I want to do this. So I'll put up a video tomorrow. I'll stream on Monday. And I remember, I am evil. I am the villain, and I'm apparently going to do all of these different things that I never said I was going to do. People who like I don't know how my future is going to turn out, but people who don't know me know how it's going to turn out. Figure that one out. Anyways, see you.